Michael is here.
Who?
Oh, Michael's here?
Michael.
So are we letting him in today?
What's up with the mayor? Welcome, everybody. Today is March 23rd, 2026. This is the Village of Hannah City Council meeting. If everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
That's 1 second.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Jake, you're up, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'm Jake. I'm with the fire department. We submitted a liquor license, and we are requesting the fee be waived. It's going to be for June 13th for our annual pork chop dinner. We're also requesting the road be closed from 116 to Hannah Street on Main Street in front of the firehouse for our yearly event. We're requesting from noon to 11:59. And then I'm also asking for another road closure for our hose testing, June 24th, 25th, and 26th between 8 and 5 from 116 just past the firehouse property.
The whole street, or
Not the whole street, just the portion in front of the fire station and then up to the corner of 116.
that's what I meant. Do you want both lanes of
I'm
Main, or
going
do
to
you
say
want?
yes for now. So
Okay.
if they don't need it, then they can choke it down to one lane or whatever they need.
So June 13th, noon to 11:59, 116 to Hannah.
Correct.
What was the other date? Dates?
June 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Correct.
The times?
Between 8 and 5.
4 days for hose testing?
Last year they wanted 2 and then their machine broke. So we had to, yeah.
That's fine. If everybody doesn't know what that's for, that's so they do the pressure testing on the hoses.
And that's a annual NFPA requirement.
What's the event called on the 13th?
The Hannah City Firefighters Pork Chop Dinner.
Thank you.
And I have already approved the permit, 1 day liquor permit, and waive the fee as liquor commissioner. So
Awesome.
that's already been taken care of now.
Thank you very much.
So as far as
Do you?
I'll print it up. I should have done
No,
that
you're
before
fine.
tonight, but I'll print it up and have them sign it, and then I'll let you know when it's ready.
Okay, perfect.
That's okay. Yeah. Okay.
then, and then you guys will notify residents of those days of road closures again as usual.
Yep, and we've talked to the post office already, and it's the same every year for them.
And have you talked to Black Sheep?
We're going to work our way down the road to closer, about 3 weeks out from the event, I believe.
Okay. I say, because I know them having drive-through now, that only exits out on Main now, so.
So yeah, we will make notifications for everybody on the road between 116 and Hannah.
Okay.
And I'll put it out on the app too.
Okay.
So
Anything else? Anybody have any questions for Jake?
No, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Jake.
Thank
you. Yep, good to see you.
That wasn't us getting the phone, was it?
No, it wasn't. Michael, online. All right. Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Michael, this is your opportunity to speak before the board or bring anything to our attention. Michael, you've not complying or answering, therefore you're not wanting to submit anything for the board. And I would ask that the village administrator remove him from the comments.
What am I doing?
Remove.
Was it on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a bot.
It could be a bot.
Let's see. This meeting's over. Start another meeting. See if it pops up.
Okay.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, are they joining like right when the meeting starts?
Yeah.
It's a little delayed.
Everybody should have a copy of our March 9th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes as submitted.
Second.
Motion by Pearson, second by Johnson. Any further discussions, corrections, or changes that are needed? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm losing my mind tonight. All those against, nay. Motion carries. Report.
Yes.
I'm not going to forget you.
Thank you. Nothing really out of the ordinary except for the new HVAC system is on the treasurer's report that you guys approved a couple meetings ago. Other than that, everything else is pretty standard stuff.
It was actually put in 2 weeks ago.
What was it?
Was it 2 weeks ago?
I don't remember if it was last meeting or the week before. But...
But he means the work.
Oh, the work, yes.
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and pay all outstanding debts. Second.
Motion by Pearson. Second by
Let's.
Any further discussion, comments, corrections? And we'll roll call it. Weaver?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Sidak?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Motion carries. Engineers report.
You guys saw my email about Caleb. The company he's going to doesn't do engineering, so he felt terrible, but he said it was good for him and his family, and I said that you got to do what you got to do, and wished him well. And I'm having coffee with Brandon in the morning, so we'll see what comes of that. And then I suppose we'll have to make a decision as to what we want to do after that. I'm assuming we want to stay with Brandon if he wants to stay with us.
Hopefully.
Yep, that's all I got there.
Okay. Charge report, Shauna?
We've been working on Title II. If anyone has any other, we've added solar and subdivision. If anybody has any other items that they feel need to be in the zoning or building codes, please let Brian know so he can get in contact with me. We'll be filing the petition to intervene tomorrow once we've updated the service list. And other than that, I think that's it.
Okay.
I should have the draft of the zoning. They're telling me this week.
Okay.
Well, later than April 1st, but once I get it all I'll review it and talk with Wiley, and then we're happy with it. I'll send it to you to incorporate.
Okay. All right. Sounds great.
Thank you, Sean.
Uh-huh.
Administrative report, Mr. Baylor.
Okay, February financials. So there were no adjustments for the month of February. So what you see there is the real month. We had 120,000 of income, 97 of expenses. So we were positive 23, a little over. Everything was positive, but unemployment, general, we always our variance is always lower this time of year because of the property tax that carries us for the majority of the time. If you look at the core funds, everything was positive. I don't think there's a ton of information there. I do think maybe somewhere down the road we might want to talk about our sewer rate. We've had Ryan and Chris and I have been talking about that a little bit, but I don't know if we'll do anything or not. I need to get some more data together. February MFT, no expenses, just income. And that should be the case until probably January of 27. All income, no expenses. February TIF, again, just interest income, no expenses. I think it should be that way for March and April as well. BDD, we did get information today that the one grant for the house over on your street, third, the house that they're redoing, that she's going to try to get it in yet this year. They got their permit and stuff, so we may have that, which is good. That'd be a good one to get done.
Yeah.
The one thing I was going to talk more about this, but the reason our budget was way off on TIF was the TIF increment and estimating that. So we're working with Gwen, Cassandra and I are working with Gwen to do a better job this year, and you'll hear more about that in other discussions. Year-to-date core funds, so there's all kinds of stuff that we had to adjust there. If you look at the second sheet, we've got real estate income, real estate expenses. We had the alleys, the capital project. We had the meters for water. We had the solar rebate for sewer. And then we had the solar loan in the lagoon shed. So a lot of things that we are trying to offset. We're going to take a little different strategy next year so I don't have to do these adjustments. We're going to try to bill all capital things to one line item in capital, and then she can run the report with capital expenditures or without, which would help us so we don't necessarily have to make all these adjustments. Then if you look at year-to-date core funds adjusted, in general, everything performed well. Year-to-date positive variance, a little over $400,000. The explanations, I don't know, there's really not probably call out sewer that electricity's better than what we thought, and then our budget for new equipment we didn't spend, so that's partially why we're doing well there. Year-to-date MFT, we're about back to break even because we don't have any more expenses. We should get another $8,000 to $10,000 with no expenses in the last 2 months, March and April. So that'll go positive for the year. Year-to-date TIF, this should pretty much be where it's going to sit because we've got the 80% of the residential paid back. So positive variance of 51. But you can see there, if you look at the budget, all we did is we took last year when we budgeted, we just took the 3% of the inflation amount. We didn't try to calculate what the new increment was going to be, and we're working on doing that this year. So it's not so far off. BDD, we budgeted to be negative because of the sidewalk, but we should have another $20,000 or so of revenue, so that could be close to about $100,000 negative, which is I think going to be about on budget. Really nothing to talk about on the summaries. Cash, we did, because we know that MFT and TIF, we're at a time of the year where we're not going to have a whole lot of expenses, so we moved a lot of money from our operating accounts down into into the savings. In fact, if you look at the spreadsheet, MFT, we had a year-to-date negative variance up top, but that's just because we moved a lot down below. If you look at the savings side, the streets is negative 105. That's the alley project. For the month, we had $1,500 of expenses on the loan. That was filing the federal rebate paperwork, which we did get, by the way. So we've got everything we're going to get for now. TIF was the moving of the 80%, or paying the 80% back to the other taxing bodies. And then the BDD, that $119,000 was the sidewalk. So everything that's negative, we can explain. We've got reasons why the cash went down, but overall, bottom right corner, we're up $326,000 total cash for the year so far. So pretty good. Questions for me? 2 more months, another year in the books.
Anybody have anything else for Brian? Thank you, Brian. Committee reports.
Yes, sir. So in your packet, you've got the 26-27 budget draft summary that Brian's going to speak to us about.
Yeah, just as a reminder, this is comparing budget to budget, not actuals, because we don't have a full year of actuals to compare to. So what I do every year is I just try to compare last year's budget to this year's budget so that you can see the changes and have an understanding. Technically, we don't have to approve a budget, but every year we do, only from the perspective that it gives us some direction as we move forward in terms of preparing for staff raises and for how we're going to allocate cash or those types of things over the next 2 months. The official approval is the appropriations ordinance, which we'll do in May, June timeframe, which will have the final numbers, because these will be modified a little bit maybe since then. And I'm going to speak to that a little bit. I did add a couple slides this year, budget modifications. We separated general out into 2 categories, administration and streets. And we allocated a portion or a percentage of property tax, state income tax, and sales tax to streets. So it would have its own, it's still under general, but it's got its own income and expense so that we can manage it like we do everything else. And therefore it's got a built-in escalator every year as well. So we just took our expenses and allocated a number that we felt like would cover the cost there. The other thing we did this year is we did centralize some expenses. We've always been someone who distributed expenses, even if it was $1, we put, if it was water, we put it in water, but we've done it for a long enough time. We know what the true costs are for those areas, and there's some things that aren't a ton of money, like training and travel and those types of things. So we ended up centralizing those to make it a little bit easier on Cassandra, so she doesn't have to remember the percentages and divide them out and distribute it manually every month. We do have principal payments this year. So last year we only had interest only for solar, and we didn't have anything on the Public Works building. And this year we'll have interest and expense on both of those. And not to get too technical, but a principal payment isn't actually an expense. It's a balance sheet item, but we're going to go ahead and include it in the budget so that way we don't have to talk and adjust it each time, and we know that we have the cash to cover it. 26, 27, these were unresolved at the time. They're pretty much resolved now. I've got the tax increment estimate. So we were in the budget that we're looking at, it was $330,000. Well, the number we got from Gwen today was $450 that she thinks the new tax increment's going to be. So again, that's why the budget was so far off last year, but she's still refining that, and we'll work on that more. We're not waiting on the federal rebate anymore. I got a text message the other day from Cassandra saying that came in. It wasn't 170, it was 166,000, but we did get it. We've got all the money we're supposed to get for the solar project at this point, minus the quarterly payments that we get from the SRECs. We are getting them. The last one we got was
A couple months ago.
so we get them quarterly. It's about $18,000 a year, but that's built into the new budget as well.
18 a year.
18,000
A year.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it comes in quarterly. So then if you look at core funds income, you can see we went from 715,700 to 746, and I broke out administration and streets. Expenses again, I'll explain all these, but we broke out administration and streets. Capital went down because we moved the buildings and grounds capital that we were setting aside for the Public Works building to help cover the loan for the Public Works building. Principal went up because we didn't have any principal, and this year we will. And so the variance was a little lower for the general fund than what it was last year. So income increased by 30,000 roughly. That's property tax inflation 3.08%, which we get from Gwen. And then state income and sales tax performance last year was strong, so I'm assuming it's going to be carry into this year. We'll see. I guess you never know. Expenses increased. We have $24,000 worth of Public Works building interest expense. We got 3% staffing assumption. So that's one of the key things with this budget is, again, we're assuming that, like we've done for the last, I think, couple of years, we're just going to do a flat 3% for the staff. So if that's doesn't work for you, then tell me. The board pay went up this year, right? And so we budgeted for that, the new number. And then we centralized some items. So there were costs that were in water, that were in sewer, that are now in core, which is impacting the number, or in the general fund, which is impacting some of it. Capital decreased by 24,000. Again, no buildings and grounds. Using that to cover the loan, and then the principal increased by 20,000 because we didn't have it last year and we have it this year. So those are the major differences between last year's budget and this year's budget for core funds general. If you look at core funds water, income is going up. Expenses went down a little bit. Capital stayed the same. And our variance is a little bit more positive. Income increased by 19,851. That's the 2.7% price increase that we did at the beginning of this year. And then I built in an anticipated 12% price increase beginning January 1 of 27, assuming that the ICC approves Illinois American Water's request.
Question for you, Brian. I hate to back up to 6.
Oh, no, you're fine.
So our variance for this year is we're planning to be $8,000 in the red.
Yeah, but we aren't going to be.
Okay.
Yeah. If you counted capital. Yeah.
Right.
I think if I remember right, I'd have to go back and look at the. Year-to-date water is up 157.
Okay.
So if we put 150,000 in capital, we're up 7,000 on an operating basis. Yep. Let's see. Expenses decreased by 14,000. Again, some of that is money that was just moved to general. It was centralized, but we also had some efficiencies, I think, in some areas, which is good. No change on capital. If you look at sewer, income is a little higher. There's going to be a little bit more. Expenses are lower. Capital is lower, but it's not 40,000. It's going to be 50,000. And the reason why is we just got I'm going to try to put down, well, we've got 166 that just came in. We have 75 from the rebates that are already there. I don't know what is that. What's 75 and 166, 241. So I'm going to try to use some of our excess cash this year to get that up to 300,000 that we'll put down on the sewer loan, and then budget principal and interest for the rest. And then I think that'll allow me to take that capital from 40,000 to 50,000. And then we have $75,000 in principal, but that number's probably going to be a little bit lower than that with the, again, we just got those loan numbers today. So income for sewers increased 7.9, 18,000 of that is from the solar rebates. That's where that's hitting. Expenses decreased by 42. Our loan interest expense goes down because some of it's now going to be principal. And electricity, we're saving what we were hoping, or pretty close to what we were hoping to save. Capital decreased then, not by 32, but by 22, because I'll add that 10,000 back, and that's to accommodate the solar loan. And then the principal increased by $75,000. And again, I think that number is going to be a little bit lower once we get the new loan numbers built into the budget. Garbage, really, there's nothing that's changed a whole lot other than the new rates for the contract increased the cost side of the equation by just under $3,000. So if you look at 12, then it shows you income total for core funds total. So this is all of those things together: income, expenses, capital, principal. So our variance is actually, budgeted variance is going to go up a little bit more positive. And the next slide explains all that. The only difference would be is the capital would decrease by 46,000 rather than 56,000. And then I think the principal, rather than increasing 95,000 with the new loan numbers, that's probably going to be closer to 70 or 75,000. The one thing about the solar loan is it's the highest interest rate because when we put it in, when we got that loan, it was what, 2.5 years ago, something like that, when we started that project. So interest rates were higher then, so it's 7% interest rate. So we're going to want to try to kill that off as soon as we can, which is why at the next meeting, perhaps I'm going to take recommend we take some of our excess cash and put it down when we make the principal payment in April before we start principal and interest payments on the new budget. Make sense? Mm-hmm. I hope maybe next year, depending on how things go, maybe we can kill that loan. Next year, we'll have to see. Motor fuel tax, we're not running a program, so the only thing I included was some engineering costs for the program that we would design in January of 27 for the 2027 year. TIF, so this slide's all messed up. The income is going to be closer. She's refining the number, but I think the income's going to be closer to $457,000. And then the expenses, remembering that we give back 80% of the residential, so that's going to go up as well, and it's going to be closer to $410,000 is my guess. So rather than losing $880, we'll probably make around $47,000 on TIF. And then we also get some of the money back from the distribution. So it'll be closer to probably $68,000 to $70,000 of surplus under TIF for next year. Income increased by way more than that, because my notes didn't have that information at the time. Expenses increased. The taxing body disbursement is proportional to the amount that comes in. We do have developer reimbursements this year. That last year we only had the coffee can for a portion of the year. This year we've got coffee can 2 and ergonomic partners. We've got the grant program at $50K. I put in some money for the public works building in case we run into some things that we didn't anticipate in terms of building that. And then the other, I don't know if you remember from the audit, the general fund, when the TIF first started up, loaned the TIF account $130,000, I think is what it was, seed money for TIF. So the auditor suggested that we pay that back a little at a time. I think we budgeted $10,000, maybe $15,000 this year to begin that process of starting to pay that back because we've got the money. BDD income was pretty much flat. Expenses are way down because we're not doing the sidewalk. So it's basically a break-even budget. We do have developer reimbursements on the cost side. Even we got the grant programs, although I don't think we've gotten any applications for BDD grants. Now, there may be some that are TIF and BDD that bleed over that we wind up doing out of BDD. We'll have to make those decisions. I think one of the things I put in here is at Gwen's suggestion was when the shed that we're going to pay for the Sportsman's Club as part of the project. She said it would be good to do that as a BDD project, so that way the ownership and everything transfers to them. They apply for a reimbursement. So I budgeted $10,000 for that. Oh, and I also put in, and again, we don't have to do this, but I'm going to ask Hometown Consulting to come here and present in that month in April to talk about. At some point, we're going to need to transition from. On financials, we only have two levers to pull, right? Increase revenue, lower costs if we're going to improve. And at some point, we may want to begin actively having some assistance helping market like the old Casey's building, marketing the frontage property, over on 116, helping us maybe do studies for, where we could put residential stuff. Some things like that. I build it into the budget. Again, if they come and present and you don't like it, we don't have to spend it. We're not committed to spending it. And that's true of all this stuff. I mean, when we get to the point where we're going to spend the money, we're going to go through our normal process. All we're doing is just trying to build the framework of what the financials are going to look like for the year. And at the next meeting, I hope to have a presentation that will say this is how we want to balance the cash for the year end, where we want to move things around to. The two big things would be is putting more money down on the solar loan and getting the public or the buildings and grounds savings number to about $300,000. What I did is we have the public works building loan for 9 years before we can pay it off, and we're earning interest on that money. So what I did is I used a 3.35 interest number, which is lower than what we're getting, but I project that out over 9 years, and the payoff in 9 years is $355,000. So if I have 300 in there now and I'm earning 3.35 over 9 years, it's like $360,000. Point being is we would have the cash once it's done to pay it off and be done with it.
Any questions?
I know that's a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Baylor.
Sure.
It's got to go like this so it doesn't fall out.
Yeah.
Like I said, all we're doing is saying, all I'm asking you guys to do is say, yeah, Brian, we agree conceptually with what you're doing. The expenses are all going to have to be approved, eventually. The only thing is, the big thing is, the 3% for the staff. We're doing that. You guys would be basically, if you vote this, you're saying. But we could even come back later with the details on that. You could vote on that separately. It just gives us the ability to plan for the last 2 months here, so we know directionally you guys are good with what we're suggesting. And if anybody wants to see the massive spreadsheets, we did something fun this year.
Fun.
Well, we ended up doing a monthly distribution of the costs. So if it's not divided by 12, meaning we either don't know or it automatically gets divided up by 12, if there's some unique distribution, we put the unique distribution into the spreadsheet. So she can go in and put that into Locus so that our monthly report should be pretty true to the actual figures, because we built seasonality in on all of the income and all of the expenses, which I thought was fun.
Yeah. You would.
It's not fun.
So we need to actually vote on this?
Well, we don't have to, but in the past years we have. So I'll leave it up to you guys. You can just smile and nod and say you like it, or you can vote on it. We can document it and move forward. Like I said, the official document will be the appropriations ordinance that we have to do within 60 days or 90 days of the new fiscal year.
90 days. Yeah, man. You got quite a few changes in that, though, don't you?
Well, the TIF is going to change, and the sewer numbers are going to change a little bit, but they're going to be better.
Right.
Yep.
But yeah, so
I'm happy to do whatever.
we don't need to vote on it now. We're going to vote on it in the.
So then, just give me feedback if you're feeling like it's.
I think it's strong.
Yep.
I know it didn't look like I was listening to you, but I was.
I know.
I think if, you don't have like the adjustments that you have, I think it'd be easier to follow for us.
Yeah, like I said, the
non-fun
TIF's going to be
people.
different, and the loan for the.
He didn't hear me.
What did you say? If we didn't have the adjustments, what?
It'd be easier for us non-fun people.
Oh,
I like it, Brian. It's very thorough. You've obviously planned for even, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. Well, practically they're not small expenses, but even the smaller expenses you've planned for, which is makes my job easy.
we've tried every year. The other thing is, Cassandra and I, every time we do the monthly financials, we'll say next year's budget we need to adjust this, change this. So she keeps a list of like everything we've experienced during the year that we know we want to update. Just to let you know how sick I am, is my federal taxes this year. I came within $1 of breaking even, and the accountants were laughing. They said that they never had anybody come that close to actually breaking even. Then they were wondering whether the government was going to take my dollar. And I said, yes, I'm sure they're going to take my dollar.
Of course they will.
They'll send you a notarized $15 letter asking for it.
All right.
Now, if it's less than $1, you don't have to pay it. But
Is it?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
But everything gets rounded.
if it's 51 cents.
So I'd have to. So that's the challenge. And next year I got to be 49 cents or better.
Or just do it where they owe you $1. You can
No,
contribute
because they won't send him $1.
No, then he contributes $1 to the presidential election account, and then he's even now.
Make sure I have $100,000.
Anyway,
That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Mr. Holt, planning and zoning,
Nothing to report.
sanitary sewer, Mr. Johnson.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and skip a couple things I was going to report out just because Brian already talked about the federal rebate. We got that $166K. The rebate, the next 5 years, that quarterly rebate of $18K. We kind of talked about that already, and the principal payment. So what I do want to mention here is we do have a quote you'll see in your packet. We are working on getting some additional water meters to backfill our stock. So you'll see they're about $215 a piece, or approximately $215 a piece. There's 25 of them. So this is through Midwest Meter Inc. I would like to propose that we, or make a motion that we pay out $5,375 for 25 meters to Midwest Meter Inc.
We don't get a batch or price break, huh?
But we'll need to get a quote with the actual number on it. That's the only problem.
So I got to hold off on the vote then.
It's
This
Yeah,
not
we can-
95 right here.
Yeah, it's written there,
We can say.
but I can write in.
not to
Tell
exceed. Okay.
No, you can't.
So do I need to just rephrase it not to exceed a dollar amount?
Yes, that would
Okay.
be better because it's not. Yes.
Perfect. So I would like to make a notion to not pay out and not to exceed the dollar amount of $5,375 even to Midwest Meter Inc. For our meters to backfill our supply. Okay. Thank you, sir. Amen.
So, motion by Johnson, second by Weaver. Any further discussion, comments? We'll roll call it. Pearson,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Sidak,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Motion carries.
As for sanitary and sewer, that is the end of the report. I can move on to water when you're ready.
Water.
I thought that was underwater.
Meters
Meters are
were.
underwater.
Meter. Oh, bummer.
So
Sorry, guys.
finish the rest of your water.
Yeah, so rest of my water, I do have some shut-off notices. I had, we sent out 17 shut-off letters, totaling $5,208.83.
52.
Yep, 5208.83. Actual shut-off, we had 0. We do have 2 on level pay. We have 6 homes total for total homes in foreclosure and 1 foreclosure shutoff letter, and that totals $473.25, 473.25. The approximate gallons sold is 2,003,847. That's 2,003,847. End of report.
You good, Denny?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Weaver, building the ground.
Nothing to report. Did you get that adjustment on AW's quote about?
Oh, to the
Oh,
110.
Yeah, I mean, him committing to the within a tenth, yes. Yeah, we're good.
That's all I got there.
Streets and alleys.
Nothing.
CDC, Mr. Sidak.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Miller's not here, but everybody should have a copy of the administrative report. The report from the sheriff's department, the incident report too.
I have a couple questions about that,
No,
and you might not be able to answer these. I'm looking
I
at
said
the
no. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm looking at the dispatch descriptions. Just wondering, do you have any insight as to what bus/HSE
Business check, business or house check.
Okay, and then unknown problem man down.
Sounds like a medical problem.
Okay.
Because F1, E1 were there, S1. So those were all medical.
Okay, and then the last one. What is threat annoy call?
Threat annoyance.
So it's just a broad.
It could be someone threatening somebody, or it could be an annoying call, like someone's playing their radio too loud.
Okay.
What does STP stand for?
Stop.
Stop. Gotcha.
So I guess this is the first time I've gotten this, and it's really interesting. I guess the question I have is, we have on 2.6 it says that there was a theft but there wasn't a call listed here. Is that typical? You're my neighbor.
On
So like if you look on
the
the
first sheet to the second sheet.
yeah the second
So
sheet.
the issue is this is covering a portion of the month, and then this is covering another portion of the month. And the reason why is they're in the process of changing their reporting. So eventually the front sheet goes away, and all we'll be getting is the back sheet.
we'll be getting this, and this is out. I believe this is the second page that we get is out of the CAD system. So
Okay, so it's just missing data.
it's not
Gotcha.
missing data. It's just that these were reported in one system. These were reported in another.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why the 2.6 one's showing up there, because what they told me is that this was the first part of the month and this was the second part of the month. So I don't know what that 2.6 one is, unless they did something with it later.
Yeah, I think
Because on the first,
The first
one,
page
there's two
is
sixes
the
all.
follow-up.
But I think next month we should be just getting the second sheet and all the information
Okay.
will be in one place.
Thank you. It's interesting.
But if there's
Appreciate it.
anything you want to see different, I mean, they're willing to try to give us what we want.
Interesting to see.
What's that, Ron?
It almost looks like that might be a misprint on the date because the second sheet has the 24th through the 27th in chronological.
I want to say that was the original call.
Huh?
I want to say that's the original call, and then they followed up.
No, they would have still done a long report for that day. So yeah, it could have been a typo too, Rod. You're right. Because it goes 24, 24, 24, 06, 27, 27. Maybe it was the 26th.
They assigned a number or did something else on it or something.
Yeah, because they assigned it a case number. And it's 2026 00000718. You said that's your neighbor?
It should be by address. 12317. I'm 21.
Okay.
That's why I was wondering what the theft entailed. If that's like a break-in or if, I don't know, because I would have liked to know if it was a break-in at my neighbor's house because I didn't know that happened. So. Yeah.
So that's it.
So are we saying how many, or what is going to be the new process? Like, we're just going to say
Next-
total calls?
Next month you'll get a total calls number.
It'll look like the second sheet, but for the full month.
Yeah.
So we'll just do total incidents, total calls. How do we want
Yeah,
That's
that's
fine.
how we'll,
to just stay with incidents?
incidents, calls, whatever.
Okay. So we can.
I mean, I'd use incidents because it's broader.
Yeah, because
Not all of them are calls.
right, because it could just be responding with fire.
That's one of the things we wanted with not just the reactive stuff, but the proactive stuff like traffic stops and that kind of stuff. Right. Or something that they got kept fine on patrol or whatever.
Anybody else have anything else to bring before the board?
There's 3 listed. Same time, same address, same date.
Yeah, that's why they're going away from the old system.
So that's like 1.
It could be, yeah. Hearing none, meeting adjourned.
That's good.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Shanna.
Thank you.